This week marks 24 years since the tragedies of 9/11. Today's guests are not only honoring those killed on that day, but also raising money for those who continue to struggle with 9/11 related illnesses. Please help me welcome Captain Riley Murph and Engineer Terry Kubel, who are here to talk about the 9th annual Salt River Firefighters Memorial Stair Climb. Welcome.
Thanks for having us, Teresa.
For those who aren't familiar with the event, talk us through it.
Sure. Yeah, so it's our 9th year. We benefit the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation and East Valley Firefighters Charity, as well as some of the money goes back to the FDNY, to the Counseling Services Units program. You know, this is a big deal. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guys in the East Valley and throughout the state that have suffered cancer and job-related illnesses, and this is our way to give back to them. So. And
it's not just you show up and light a candle, you actually walk a specific number of stairs.
Yeah, at Salt River Fields, as you can see, it's 2,071 steps. You do 2 laps through the ballpark, but you can climb as many or as few steps as you like while you're at the event. And yeah, it's to kind of commemorate the climb that the firefighters who were involved in 9/11 weren't able to make.
So 343 FDNY firefighters were killed on that day, and you commemorate them personally.
Correct. Yeah, we carry a tag. Each climber is given a tag with a name and a little bit of the story of the firefighter who perished on that day.
You know, thinking about those 343 who perished on that day, it's hard also not to remember that this was one of the greatest rescues in the history of American firefighters. Tens of thousands of people were rescued by firefighters on that day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty incredible story. If you look at the overall kind of thing, that's something that the FDNY prides themselves on as the greatest rescue ever made in the history of the American Fire Service.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you guys obviously remember where you were on that day? Would you feel comfortable talking about it a little bit?
Sure. This was before I got in the fire service. I was at work on in another career, and we're watching it in the conference room on the television, and just obviously in shock about what was going on. So.
You were in a different career.
I was not a firefighter 24 years ago. So.
And I assume that's inspired you to.
It was one of the things that inspired me, for sure. Yeah.
And for you?
Yeah, it was actually the day I got my permit to drive, and we saw it on TV, and that was one of the things that made me want to be a fireman. So.
Wow.
Same
so,
thing.
I mean, unintended consequences. It was such a tragic day, but it also did entice a lot of young people to want to be in the service and to be rescue workers and to help others.
Yeah, and you know, it's very interesting now. You go to the event, and there's a lot of people showing up to honor these men and women that were killed in the line of duty that weren't even born when this happened. And it's an amazing way to never forget, like we said, you know, all those years ago.
Well, thanks for everything you're doing to keep this going. We've got a lot of gear here on the table, and I don't think civilians really realize just how heavy this gear is and this equipment, and to be walking up all those flights of stairs in a fire and heat, with fear, with chaos. It's just something not a lot of us can really understand or relate to in the way that you guys can.
Yeah.
It's heavy, you know, you put on all this stuff, you put on your breathing apparatus, you're carrying your tools. You know, I can't imagine what the FDNY guys are going through. People are running down, they're running up. It's an unfathomable thing, and this is just, like I said, a way for us to honor them.
We said we'd never forget. This is 24 years later after the events of 9/11, and we're just doing our part. As there's many climbs across the country, there's a few here in the valley. We're just doing our part to honor those people and their families year in and year out.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing and for your service. And I just want to remind the audience quickly a few details about the event. It is, again, the 9th annual 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb. It's taking place Saturday, September 13th at Salt River Fields. You walk the same number of steps these brave New York City firefighters did on that fateful day back in 2001. It's a great event, a wonderful cause, organized again by our friends at the Salt River Firefighter Charities. Scan that QR code you see on your screen, or visit our website to register and support our first responders. You will be so glad you did. This is an awesome community event. We here at CW7 Arizona are so proud to be a part of it. Riley Murph, Terry Kubel, thank you so much.